From London to LA, every millionaire and billionaire knows waterfront is the ultimate asset class. And specifically in Dubai, you still can get in before every single plot on the coastline is gone forever. Bonjour, hello, welcome back to Deals with Simon. In today's video, we are going to discover every single aspect about one of the two most demanded and most desired property types that do exist in Dubai's real estate market. I made a separate video on my channel, Deals with Simon, where I'm explaining every single part about villas and mansions, which is one of the two segments. And today we are going to discover the second one, which is obviously waterfront developments. Now, when it comes to waterfront properties, these are the ones which are responsible for the highest returns overall when it comes to investments. And these are the ones which deliver you status, prestige, and the highest level of lifestyle which you can imagine for your own dream home. And I'm going to discover with you in this particular video the last 4 to 5 remaining waterfront developments, especially master plans, where significant profits, like many investors made in the last decade, are achievable, number one. And number two, we're diving into the certain segments and parts of actually waterfront developments, because there are different types. In total, there are 6 different types, and we need to differentiate them, okay? And we're going to diving into the specifics and economics behind that overall segment, why it is such an incredible investment opportunity, and what are the specific numbers behind it. So with that being said, let's jump into the video and let's get straight to the point. Now, the question is, where is the value of waterfront actually coming from? And I'll answer this particular question in a moment, but for now, let's just understand more about the type itself, because waterfront properties, they are perceived as one of the highest valued assets in real estate globally, not only Dubai, and that goes for lifestyle and that goes for appreciation, okay? Number two, when it comes to Dubai, we're speaking about 3 to 5% max, which are considered as waterfront properties. So from the 100% total supply, only 3 to 5% are considered in that prime category, and obviously in different forms, okay? And these forms I will explain you in a second. Now, when it comes to the coastline, we're speaking about roughly 1 to 2% of all properties which can be on Dubai's coastline. We're speaking about seafront and beachfront, okay? That's the prime first row, and that is for me the ultimate definition of scarcity. Now, when it comes to the asset itself, it is literally status driven, okay, number one. Number two, it is emotionally charged. People buy it with emotions, and these assets, they outperform, okay, any other assets across a market cycle when it comes to real estate. All right, let's directly jump into the most interesting part of the video, which is understanding what kind of elite investment opportunities we do have left when it comes to Dubai's coastline. Because we have to understand, the coastline only spans over 72 kilometers, which is basically from the border Abu Dhabi to the border Sharjah. And when it comes to the majority of that land, it is either completely built, A, okay, or B, it is restricted. So let me explain that. Built basically means, look at the communities like Blue Waters Islands, like Chebiar, Marina, even Palm Jumeirah, all the way up to Bulgari, Pearl Jumeirah. The land on the coastline is mainly already built. It is gone, it is done, okay? Number two, Jumeirah 1, 2, and 3. The majority of the land there is leasehold, so you cannot buy technically, okay? So you're quite limited and capped when it comes to new inventory where you can get those off-plan prices. So we need to look into the 5 upcoming master plans. We have a certain inventory coming into the market, okay? So technically 5 master plans. And I'm going to explain them briefly in this video. Why? Because there's a separate video for each and every single master plan of those 5 coming on my channel, Deals with Simon. In case you have not subscribed yet, definitely do so, because you don't want to miss them, because I'm breaking down everything in a very analytical way, and I'm looking into all the numbers and basically show you some insights of what's really coming there. It's super, super exciting. But let's get back to it. Number one is definitely Palm Jebel Ali. So we saw the success of Palm Jumeirah, okay, over the last 2 decades, and Palm Jebel Ali repeats itself in history, just with the improvements of the mistakes that are potentially being made when it comes to Palm Jumeirah, okay? So all the things which are not perfect there, on Palm Jebel Ali, we will see like the better version of it, and it's double the size. Number one. Number two, Maritime City. One of my absolute favorites, as most of you already know, because here Beyond by Omniat, its subsidiary, basically bought half of the island already, the peninsula to be technically correct, and creates an absolute astonishing master plan there. Definitely worth checking it out. Has one of the most potential overall when it comes to seafront properties. Speaking of seafront properties and speaking of Maritime City, right next to it we will find Rashid Yachts and Marina, okay, the master development of Emaar. And we all know when Emaar takes over a parcel of land and creates a master community, that has something to say. It will be gorgeous and beautiful over there, and even the whole infrastructure, road connectivity, will be built towards those kind of areas, because including Dubai Islands, okay, which is the 4th here, which is basically Maritime City, okay, number 1, Rashid Yachts and Marina number 2, and Dubai Islands, they are more or less right next to each other. So the whole infrastructure towards that area will be developed, okay, and it will get more and more valuable over time. And last but not least, number 5 is not really, that's why I not mention them like directly straightforward, is not really a master plan concept. It is more or less a last remaining plot where we find a couple of absolute high-end developments. It is nothing for a cheap entry. It is basically something which you acquire as a trophy asset, because we're speaking about a premium development there, Jumeirah Azora Bay, okay, where only 29 exclusive residences exist, as well as 6 ocean mansions, and this is a product only for a very discerning clientele of buyers. So let's speak about La Mer South as well as Chevron Beach separately, but these are basically the 5 options opportunities you have. Obviously, there is some plots left when it comes to like certain elements like Al Jadaf Waterfront, okay, or like Design District on the other side of the canal, or for example, Dubai Harbor, okay? We do have a couple of plots left there, and there are some developments, but I'm speaking about complete master developments where we can head into in a very early stage, okay? Now, when it comes to these kind of assets, we have to understand why are these assets so highly desired? Because at the end of the day, global people, okay, money is coming into the country right now. People are basically lifestyle buyers of these kind of assets, and Dubai, as we all know, is basically a tax haven, okay? So that's another reason why these people are coming in right now. As a result, we're seeing high resale premiums, okay? So these are top premium properties which you can then resell later on in the secondary market for a top premium. Then we have few to non-distressed deals. This is important. Why? Because people who are buying waterfronts, they understand the power. They keep on holding and they're liquid enough to actually pay their installments, and that's why we see basically no distressed deals here, and because of its limited supply, okay? And as well, strong liquidity overall. As we all know, in Dubai, when it comes to off-plan, these purchases are mainly cash buyers. Fantastic. Let's now explore the 6 different types of waterfront properties which we potentially can acquire here in Dubai. In the first place, it is super important to identify these segments correctly, because each and every type caters to a certain clientele and can therefore completely impact the profits overall in your investment strategy. So let's get into it. I keep it very short and simple, straight to the point, because time is money. And these 6 types, they are basically divided into a couple of categories in itself. So the beachfront property, okay, as well as the seafront property. These are the 2 types which are within those 1% and 2% of limited supply, which are on the coastline, okay? This is prime coastline. These are the highest demanded properties overall. So with the beachfront property, we obviously have the access to the private beach or to the public beach, and then with the seafront, we do not have the access. This is the gravital difference here. When it comes to the beach, for example, JBR has the public beach, and Ema Beachfront, we can find the private beach here. When it comes to seafront properties, we find beautiful curated communities from Meraz, for example, Blue Waters Islands, Bulgari, Port de la Mer, okay, Pearl Jumeirah, all from Meraz, all established and all absolutely incredible. Let's move on to lagoons. Lagoons are quite interesting because these are basically man-made beach-style concepts, okay? So developers are buying a plot, a parcel of land in the country inside, okay? And it's creating artificially this kind of beach vibe, which is quite interesting because you're saving money. You're not buying the same premium price like you would buy on the coastline of Dubai, although you're having this beach-style vibe. And it was a perfect concept in District 1, which we already can see successfully, as well as in Tel Al Gaf. And upcoming, we will find it in the Oasis, as well as in the Acres. And I mentioned those 2 communities because they're still in the off-plan stage. And here we can grab those incredible prices, okay, which you can only capitalize on when it comes to off-plan. When it comes to the next one, we're speaking about the lakes. Lakes are completely different here as well because they cater to a different clientele. Therefore, we have to understand that in our investment strategy, we find them in Emirates Hills. Okay, in Emirates Hills, we have lakes as well as the golf course. And these are products for privacy-focused villa buyers. Super important to understand the clientele. Next one is the creek front. Dubai Creek Harbor is obviously one of the most famous examples which I can give you here, but Al Jadaf Waterfront can be considered here as creek front as well. This is for people who want to have kind of a cultural, let's say, a blend of heritage, as I mentioned it here, okay, as well as the urban development, who basically value those kind of aspects. And you still have these incredible skyline views, for example, especially in Creek Harbor. If you're living in the address Harbor Point Creek Harbor and you're watching like the Dubai skyline, downtown skyline, wow, absolutely breathtaking. And last but not least is definitely here the marina / canal, okay? When it comes to marina, obviously Dubai Marina is one of the most famous elements of Dubai overall, but especially in Marasi Bay, okay? And as well in Dubai Water Canal, we find ultra luxury developments here as well. So canal front and marina front properties are quite interesting as well. And therefore, like city-based investors, as I mentioned it here, but still people who want to be directly on the water and have those spectacular water views. So this is the overview of those 6 different categories, extremely important to understand them. Well, before we're gonna wrap up the video in a moment, let me just add 3 last points which perfectly conclude the overall video. When it comes to acquiring a waterfront property for yourself, just imagine the kind of waterfront experiences you have on a daily basis. The morning swims, for example, which you can do, and many, many more things. Next one, you are literally in a resort-like living. So when it comes to the infinity pool, okay, the beach clubs which you have right next to it, sunset lounges, world-class spas. These are all kind of amenities which are included, okay, in your overall property experience. And last but not least, when it comes more to the investment side of things, we're speaking about an asset which is inflation-proof, okay, and it can be seen as a legacy-grade asset. Why? Because waterfront properties, they always keep its value. Even when there are downturns, okay, they are the ones which are least affected due to one fact, which is the limited supply. Super important. And last but not least, ultra high net worth individual families, they treat those kind of assets as wealth preservation tools, okay? So they don't speculate on waterfront properties, they buy it and they keep it. You've seen the waterfront lifestyle, and you know that numbers never lie. But what's quietly unfolding in the background is absolutely magnificent right now. I've broken down a specific product, which is a waterfront development, which falls into this category of villas and mansions as well. And you will see it on my channel, Deal to Simon, in the future. And I want you to subscribe to the channel and definitely pay close attention to when this video is going to be released. If you want to take action right now, which I totally urge you to do, then just click the link below this particular video, fill out the form, give me some upfront information, and let's have a private one-on-one consultation. Let's have a meeting and let's discuss a couple of strategies, concepts, and let's identify what kind of opportunities we can actually take on action together. With that being said, click the link below this particular video, fill out the form, see you on the other side, and I'll see you in Dubai.